making of any movie brings together people with widely varying skills, writers, actors, technicians, and designers. But what makes Pink Floyd The Wall so unusual isn't so much the fact that the movie uses mostly little-known actors, but rather that the people right at the creative heart together have brought a new, exciting, and uniquely energetic approach to the business of making movies. They are Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, satirical cartoonist Gerald Scarfe, film director Alan Parker, and Bob Geldof of Boomtown Rats. Four very different talents, and with their aid, we can perhaps glimpse the other side of the wall. The Wall is, of course, not only the central image of the movie, but also of Pink Floyd's hugely successful record and their spectacular stage show.
I thought this might get it, actually. That's what this one is supposed to be. So the hole that's left is like that. Yeah. So
let's look back now at how the final brick in the wall fell into place. The themes and symbols employed in Pink Floyd The Wall are rich and complex. Very careful control was needed at all times to be able to express these ideas clearly. What was Roger Waters' original inspiration?
It came off the end of a tour of the States that we did in the summer of '77, where we did a lot of big stadiums. And it was a very depressing experience playing to enormous numbers of people, most of whom couldn't see anything or hear anything. There was a lot of kind of drunkenness and people having their own little shows all over the place, letting off fireworks and beating each other up. And as the tour went on, I felt more and more and more and more alienated from the people that we were supposed to be there entertaining. There was one particular guy in the front row who was really having a good time, shouting and screaming all the way through everything. I got more and more pissed off, and I ended up calling this guy over. And when he got close enough, spitting in his face. I shocked myself enough with that incident to think, well, hold on a minute, you know, this is all wrong, you know, I'm hating all this, and started to think about what it was about. So the theatrical idea of having a wall across the proscenium of the stage, the building wall across the stage, developed out of those feelings that I was having then.
When I came to The Wall, it was already a hugely successful record and an enormous show. But right from the outset, it was our intention absolutely not to make a concert movie. I mean, I could have put 6 cameras on the concert and ended up with an acceptable film. But we wanted it to be totally cinematic, a film in its own right.
The remarkable animated sequences are the work of Gerald Scarfe, one of the leading political cartoonists in journalism today. His biting, highly distinctive graphic style has brought him to the forefront of his field.
One day, Roger Waters rang me up and said that he was writing a new piece. His idea was that we should make a film of it at that point, and it immediately interested me. I started work there and then on one of the pieces from the album called The Trial, and working on it has brought out a whole area of my work that was unexplored.
He has a wonderfully strange brain, which is this way around, where most people's brains are the other way around. His drawings have a weird psychopathic quality, which I think have coaxed us into dark corridors that we might not normally have explored on our own comfortably.
I'd written a draft screenplay abroad, and I showed it to writers, and it was Alan, in fact, who said, "You want writers for? You've written it. Let the music tell the story."
Roger just isn't the writer in the normal sense, and he's not only just he's written a screenplay, it is based on his life. And of course, the original inspiration is the music. It's our main narrative energy, and it was the beginnings of everything that we aspired to do because it was the original work of art.
The Wall is one of the most successful of all Pink Floyd's dozen or more rock albums. For the purposes of making the film's soundtrack, the band went back to the recording studios where an entire orchestra was assembled to expand and augment the original arrangements in a way which would better suit the needs of the movie. Michael Kamen, who had worked on the earlier recording sessions, was called in once again to arrange fuller, more elaborate orchestrations. The new tracks are sometimes quite startlingly different to the ones which are familiar throughout the world. And yet, by using the same team on all the sessions, the original creative energy has been enhanced.
I think it's better. They're a little more present. I might have to close that gap up a little bit. We'll have to see when everybody's playing. Come on, Michael. His mother takes 7.
Mother, will they put me in the firing line?
The war sequence is a very small part of the film. Our main character's father actually was killed during the Second World War, and he grew up never knowing his father. Consequently, his mother rather overcompensated for that fact, rather suffocating life he had. And it obviously had a great effect in his later life. In fact, those two things were the beginning of the building of the wall between him and the alienation between him and the world outside him.
Mama loves her baby, and Daddy loves you too. And the sea may look warm to you, baby, and the sky may look blue.
My father was killed at Anzio in the war and blah, 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 blah. It's like the semi-autobiographical novel.
The Wall is a study of the alienation process. It looks at how the negative experiences of childhood have affected Pink's outlook, making him turn inwards on himself. As he grows to maturity, we can follow the gradual building up of defensive barriers, such as all of us, at some time or another, develop to protect ourselves from the hostile outside world. In Pink's case, the results are traumatic.
The story, really, of the wall is the wall that we all build up to protect our vulnerability. Our vulnerability gets attacked through our life, first of all, by our mothers, who know exactly where to get us, where to hurt us, or fathers. Then by our teachers, who can ridicule us in front of the class and make us feel small and hurt.
New car, caviar, 4-star daydream. Think I'll buy me a football team. Absolute rubbish, laddie. Get on with your work.
It's about a rock and roll star in a hotel room reviewing his past life and all the people who've hurt him. And he sits there and goes gradually crazy.
All my films have been drastically different from one another, which is, you know, a deliberate choice. Bugsy Malone was very different from Midnight Express, and Midnight Express was very different from Fame. And I don't think I would have ever attempted The Wall but for having done Shoot the Moon before, because that's a very simple story. This isn't. This is very unconventional, very revolutionary, in so much as there is no dialogue to actually progress the story in the normal sense. Music is the narrative of the piece, and the fragmented nature of the script makes continuous dramatic performances really quite difficult. Roger, at one point, was thinking of doing it, Roger Waters, and I think that, in a way, first of all, it's rather too close to him. By choosing Bob, we did give it a freshness and a new life that I think was very important to the piece.
On action, just staring up, right? And that's when we start to thrash the actual camera.